right, good morning, everyone. It's 47 minutes after 9 o'clock on this Monday, second day of March. You guys are doing well. Wait, meteorologist Brian Good. Yes, it's Storm Talk for at least most of this week. Storm Talk is not done entirely yet. Just taking a little bit of a break, as usually does. A little bit of a sabbatical, if you will. Spend some time with some family. It'll come back for a visit, I'm sure of that. So there you go. Storm Talk, though, will be the headline. Now, just like what Snow Talk is in the autumn season, once we flip over to Storm Talk, more in the spring season in general, that will be the title. But every once in a while, Snow Talk may intertwine. So if that makes sense. But your daily blog now overall will be Storm Talk. And as we end at the summertime, when you don't have either to talk about, then we get into the fun blogs. And there is, I'm not sure if Adam's in here yet. Oh, yeah, you are, Adam. Or Cameron. But there is going to be an episode of Brian After Dark. Story time coming up soon. I'll let you know when. It'll be one of those calmer periods, though, I promise. I'll give you a heads up in plenty of time. All right. Good morning, everyone. As everyone is trying to wake up, I know it's one of those days, right? After a really nice weekend, and then you get a morning on a Monday with rain falling and in some cases ice that has been falling here today. So it's like, making everybody a little sluggish, right? I get it. But don't worry. It'll get warmer later on this week, and you'll get more of that spring bug. All right. Hopefully not the bug, but you'll get the spring bug to get outside a little more. All right, let's start with the game plan. First off, quick reminder, we do have the statewide tornado drill for Kentucky. Indiana, yours is next week. The one for Kentucky will be this Wednesday, the 4th of March, so a couple more days. This is scheduled at 10:07 a.m. Eastern Time. You guys know how this works. The siren goes off. I don't think weather radios, I believe they do go off, but I don't think the alerts go out on anything else full on. I don't think our system's even on in TV trigger, but there will be some little changes this year for the test. They're going to maybe trying out some of the alerts that are emergency services alerts that we get through our phone technology. So we'll have more on that in the next couple of days, but they are trying different things out to make sure that everything's working in good order so that we're ready. And hopefully we don't have anything to warn about, but we know about it, right? So again, Kentucky at 10:07, schools will be next week for Indiana. Remember those days, the sirens going off, get in the hallway, and put your hand at the back of your head there along the lockers there, right in the hallway. Yeah, it's that type of week. All right, outside at the moment, hard to think of that. We've got this kind of an icy mess in the area. A lot of the icing was elevated. It's tough to have it have ice accretion on the ground just because of the warmer ground idea. And we really haven't had a very cold, thick layer all the way up to the tree layer. So it's been about midway, about eye level for a lot of our icing today. So the railings outside, some of your smaller trees and shrubs, your car may get a light glaze on it from this morning's ice. And we've seen hints of that even on the SkyTrack camera there in Starlight, that may have been the case there briefly. But no travel issues with that. And further to the north of that, it's been snow that has been falling. Right now, we're at 33 here in Louisville, above freezing. Most are above it in a safe way. We've picked up about 10 to a quarter of an inch of liquid from this event, which is about what was expected last I saw, I believe, on Friday. I didn't look a lot of that over the weekend, but last I saw on Friday. And that pink shade, again, is just where the radar is interpreting just because of ground temps, but got to keep in mind that it's only going to be anything of an elevated nature may still have a light glaze trying to form on it, but it's nothing that's going to cause a power outage or anything like that. All right. Most of your porches and railings have been improved from here on out. And north of that, it's been snow. And we've had snow up in Carroll County, a couple of inches of snow as you move into Ohio. Let me add on the temperatures onto this. Again, you can see where most of the problems have been on the northern and northeast side here of the area, but we've had that light glaze reported even in the metro from earlier today, and just a plain rain. Nothing worse than a cold rain. I always say 33 and a cold rain. Ugh, nasty out there. What'd you say, Nikki? Porch was slush filled this morning. Yeah, we had a little bit of that wintry mess. It about played out fairly well. Given the data we saw last week, this is kind of the scenario we were looking at. So I think that played out, but there's always a room of error you got to watch out for, but I didn't see anything too off track that caused major problems. So that's good. If we were a little bit colder, different time of year, yada, yada, that's a different story. But we weren't. We're entering March. So that was our saving grace. Okay, so here's a wider view of that. You can see that better potential for that snow in Ohio, Columbus. Ohio picked up, I think, 2 to 4 inches. Pretty common amount into the Buckeye State. Nice little blast of snow there for our friends to the north and east. But here's the problem. This boundary is going to get stuck in the next 24 hours. It's going to lose all of its colder components because the colder area is on its way out of town. It's leaving finally. So that's going to leave the moisture field still playing through, but temperatures at least will not be as brutally cold. So what that's going to allow is what we always call the fire hose effect. We're going to have multiple systems moving across Texas, but at times the boundary that is over us now is not going to go anywhere. It'll kind of waver back and forth. If you were to think of a water hose that's in the front yard, you turn it on, but you turn it on and no one's around it, and it gets a little out of control and it's spraying everywhere and everyone's screaming and running in the yard trying to get hit by it. That's that kind of idea. It's an out of control water hose, if you will, that'll be attacking, lack of a better phrase, across the Central Plains into the Ohio Valley. And if you are hit by this fire hose multiple times, you could end up with some higher rain totals, and there may be other times that maybe not aimed toward you. And if that's the case, you will get a bit of a breather and enjoy some warmer weather. That we all have to take it day by day. So let's do just that. We'll start with the short range first, showing the current mix that's in the area now on its way out. We get into spotty showers, but even as we into the next couple of days, we start to get a little bit more warmth involved, and at times you're going to get some showers. I don't know why that moved by so fast. Hold on 1 second. Let me try that again. That thing just played out in a hurry, didn't it? Let me try this. And play. There we go. Okay. I don't know why that went so fast. So here we are this afternoon. Slight easing this afternoon compared to what we had this morning, yes. No crashing temperatures tonight, so this is not all going to freeze up on you. Tomorrow, the train tracks are still there. They haven't moved, so the next locomotive moves right along. And this will be a round of rain. A little warmer on the southern side, colder on the northern side, but this should be all rain. It continues with another locomotive that will move in as we head into Tuesday night and early Wednesday. A break, and then yet another locomotive moves in along the train tracks as we into Wednesday into Wednesday night. You see the issue is that the train tracks are going to be parked nearby. They may not stay over us directly, but they'll be in the vicinity just about all week. And every once in a while, when a locomotive comes by, we end up with a surge of rain, heavier rain, some lightning and thunder. The severe risk it's not a great set for severe risk. This is much more of a repeated rain scenario and flash flooding, but you can tell that we are on the red side, indicating some CAPE. So there will be some thunder involved, but I don't see any wild severe signal right now with this kind of a pattern. Okay, so let me show you rainfall, and that's what we're going to have to watch. How many locomotives are going to be tracking through on these tracks? And the current setup, this is just the Euro's idea, but it tries to focus more on St. Louis, Indianapolis, Louisville's in the edge, but Indiana for sure, into Cincinnati, where 2 to 4, maybe 2 to 5 inches of rain could fall just through this upcoming weekend in the train of locomotives. Notice the lack of the train tracks getting into southern Kentucky. So the more south you are, you may not have much action tracking over you this week. So you get the benefit of the warm weather, but without the long days and hours of showers and some thunderstorms. So you could be some of the lucky ones in the area. Now, I can't say that every once in a while one may slide to the south, because this is just a general overview of where the tracks look to be. But that's our challenge. And they notice have a bit of an arc to them. You're going to see this on a lot of precipitation maps. It's not a east-west track here. It kind of goes up into Missouri area, kind of northeast, and then due east. It's kind of like an upside-down L that's parked into the eastern United States. So the more south and east you are, the more you're out of that zone. But that northern piece of that L that is over the Ohio Valley, we've got to figure out if the train tracks are going to stay where it is indicated, or the model's wrong, and some do vary, and the train tracks are a little closer to I-64, which would be a whole other ballgame on flooding. So that's the game plan for now. That's our challenge that we got to figure out. You're going to see high rain chances this week because of this scenario. Until we get a little more high-res data to know if they will vary from the track or not, everyone needs to be on guard for repeated rounds of rain. So I've got your gutters cleaned out. Everything's ready to go. Leaves from the last fall that have been stuck in there all winter. Make sure they're cleared out. Anything you need to take care of to just in general, make sure that the drainage system of your yard is going to function properly. Now's the time. Hopefully you did it over the weekend, but if you haven't had a chance to do it yet, you got a little bit of time to do it today. Once we get into this afternoon, the rain eases a bit. But take those precautions now so you don't have to deal with this mess later. Okay? Fair enough? Everyone good? Everyone good? All right. Let me show you I believe this is going to be the outlook from, Weather Prediction Center, or CPC. They issued this last week. Don't see this often, where they're just going, obviously, with a medium to high risk potential here for rounds of rain. As I just explained, they just don't know yet how the train track will look. They're going to make it more angled like that. But in reality, it may be more like up here and then do right. Again, kind of an upside down L will probably be the shape. But for them to already highlight flooding possible, and this is just river basins and just low-lying areas in general. This is not just rivers only. This is both ideas. If you have been around the weather community for a while, the aerial flood watches and warnings, everyone calls them aerial, as they see the A in front of it, but it's aerial flood watch and flood warnings. That kind of idea is just general flooding is what we're looking at, because this is a low-lying area, being the Ohio and Mississippi River valleys. Again, this is starting really more so for the following week. As we will see what we've got this week on our table, it will continue happening next week too. So it's 2 weeks of this kind of weather. Then we'll see if we get into colder weather and we get a shake up and a little bit of taste of winter after that. But for at least 2 weeks, this is going to be our game plan. Okay, so what about severe weather? Hope you can see this. I'm going to bring it full screen. This is the different ways to track, not all of them, but some of the ways you can track severe weather. Okay, the first column is going to be the SIPS analog. Based on previous events, have we had severe weather, play out in similar weather conditions? The middle is the machine learning, CSU. And then the far right column, I'll get it right, it's Monday. Far right column is what's been issued so far from the Storm Prediction Center, and there is Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Okay, I know it's really hard to read this. You're like, where am I at? We are not really in the CS or the analogs until maybe Friday. There's a little hint of us right there in the middle. Otherwise, CSU is all around us. Again, kind of going around us from Arkansas, Missouri, into Indiana. Doesn't really get into our area until the Friday period and maybe Saturday when the wave tries to shift a little more south. At that point, do we show a signal? But at this point, we are not outlook for severe weather, and we are not outlook from the Storm Prediction Center either on the last end there. Could that change? Absolutely, because confidence is still unknown on where the tracks will be laid. Here is the Euro. Similar storyline. You can easily see that east-west nature, right? Even into Friday. Look at that Cape. Ooh, a lot of fuel. We advance it onward. We continue into Saturday. Now, if this were to happen, maybe score a nice afternoon Saturday. Let's hope it stays far enough north. But boy, it moves in later that night into Sunday. More rounds, showers and storms. Again, not raining the whole time, but at times when it do, I'll talk, I promise. At times when it does rain, it will be locally heavy. Should stay in bed today. All right, here we go for Monday, late night, early Tuesday. More rounds of showers and storms. Same old sun and dance. You're going to get sick of me saying this. And we get into next Tuesday. More rounds of showers and storms. Could there be some severe weather mixed in? Yeah, absolutely. But can't see that yet. And then we get toward the 13th, 12th to 13th. Well, what's that all about? Well, yes, that will be one of the first signs that we may have to start getting winter a little bit more involved in the storyline. But that is the mid portion of March by that point, not the early portion. So really, it's easy forecast. Just bet on the chance of rain on a daily basis. It's going to be warm on a daily basis, and then likely colder near or after St. Patrick's Day. Easy enough, easy peasy, right? Let me show you the 10-day, get some of your questions. We got 4 days. Today was the coldest day for a long time. A couple of weeks of being above freezing day and night. That's certainly going to shake as far as the daffodils, the little more common, some of the tulips do come up. as well. The crocuses have already started coming up, I believe, especially around some folks' mailboxes. But usually daffodils are already up now and already blooming in some cases. So this kind of weather can bring out your dandelions. Start seeing dandelions in the yard here very soon. Let me know. Harriet loves eating dandelions. But notice how warm we are, 70s. I mean, it looks like a lot of gloom here. There will be some sun breaks. It's just too hard to pick out which days would stand out for sunshine. But at least we have a chance to stay warm, and there could be an 80-degree day thrown in there somewhere. A couple things also add on to that as you're looking at all that info. Again, the statewide tornado drill for Kentucky is Wednesday, Indiana next Tuesday, and don't forget this weekend, we set our clocks ahead 1 hour. Words are hard, Brian. Yeah, it is. They are hard. If I could just be like Kristen Wiig in the movie Bridesmaids, when she's trying to talk to her best friend doing the speeches, and all she has to do is just look at her, just look, and nothing has to be said. One day I'm going to get like that with you all. I just look at you, and you just know what I'm going to say. Maybe not. Heard wavy there. Another crash on the Watterson near Newburgh Road. It's been kind of a sloppy morning, so please, for this late morning, midday period coming up, please be slow heading out. All right, guys, we're going to leave it at that. Hold on, I'm going to get your tornado question. What time does the tornado test? 10:07 a.m., 10:07. They used to do 2 of them on those days. Now they went back to 1 for the drill day for each year. So it's 1 at 10:07 Eastern. All right, everyone likes it. Good napping weather, but also at the same time, when you get some bonus warm days, you can get some stuff done outside, I hope. Just pay attention to the drainage, please, because that's going to be an issue for a while. A lot of potholes still in the city that need to be filled, so you don't know how deep they are. Don't drive through them because your tire may be going into a mini lake on the road, and that's not fun. And just watch out for a lot of high runoff, too, whenever the heavier downpours roll through. It's going to be a little tough getting around, especially in the rush hours. All right, that's it. I'm going to stop rambling because we will have, I'm sure, a lot to say on this as the week evolves. I will see you guys coming up on the flip side at 11 a.m. Take care.